We were into strategies. We are discussing on the storage type and storage section search yesterday. Okay, and today we are going to see how the bins are determined. Okay. So for a product, we created a section and determined that section, and then going ahead to see how we can influence the search of bins. Okay, so T-T600. This is the product I have maintained. The rest of the product I have maintained offline. So this is the product we maintained yesterday. So we'll go ahead now and we'll see what kind of bins are there and how we can map them. Based on HU types, yeah. Okay. So, if we today we are mostly focusing on the storage type T-T600. Yeah. So sorry, storage type 8003. So let us see how bins are created in 8003. What are the bin tags that we have? So, just trying to see how many bins we have in storage stack 8003. So we have roughly, I think around 500 bins, it looks like. And bins, let us see what is the bin type that we have. All the bins have bin type P002. Okay, and all our bins have section 1. Okay, so what we are going to do is, we have, let's say, in the storage type we have 10 aisles. Yeah, if you remember the naming that we gave, it is I1, okay, stack 1, level A. Okay, so if you recollect the racking arrangement that we saw, aisles are the rows that are the long uh, racking system, and in that you have different stacks, and above each stack level. I mean, if I draw it here, so this is kind of racking. This is kind of aisle system, yeah. And this aisle, if this is the top view of an aisle, and you can see that these are different stacks. So there are 10 stacks, sorry, 10 aisles, and if you see how many stacks we have, each aisle has around 10 stacks. Okay, and then the next aisle starts, and each aisle is 5 levels. So this is on the top. So if you look from here, it will be like 5 in height. Okay, so like this, and this is the top view, and if you look at then the side view, it will be like this. So this we saw, the typical structure of bins, when we created a bin structure. So this is top view, and this is side view. Okay. So what we will say is, the bins which are in section. Let me see if I can change this storage section. If I can change 0002. So what I'm doing here is, the bins which are from aisle 1 to aisle 5, I'm changing their section to 2. So we have 10 like this in 4, 5. We have 10 aisles totally in this storage type. I'm dividing them 5 into section 1, 5 into section 2. Okay. Then okay, 4, 5. Let me do it from here. Right. Let's see. Sorry, I need to say yes. So I'll say like this. To aisle 6 star to aisle 10 star. Okay. So these bins I'm just going to change their section to 2. Okay. I'm going to save it. Okay, so I've divided 5 rackings for aisle 1, 5 aisles for section 1, 5 aisles for section 2. So there are around 200 bins in that. Then okay. Then the next set of config is the HU type. So you can see there are, okay, if you see that the parts which we are going to store in H003, they are casings, okay, and there is hollow shaft, and there is a casing again. So all the casings are being stored here, H003. So next what we can see is for T-B100, what is the T-B100, what is the packaging material? Okay, let me paste this over there. This will help us, how we can kind of arrange the packing for this. So if we see this product is going to store in Euro pallet. Okay, this is carton L. This is carton M, and this is going to be stored in carton L. Okay, so basically what we are doing is we are storing cartons and Euro pallets in the storage tank. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to make sure that when the product is coming into a particular, so what we'll do is we'll say that wherever the casings are, Euro pallet is coming, it should go into section 1. Okay, and whenever, okay, here we have said, whenever the casings are coming, all 3 types of casings, they are going to section 1, that is the bins which we have identified in aisle 1 to aisle 5, and this should go into section 2. Okay, now there is an option whether you want to check which handling unit goes into which bin or not. Okay, so we will make sure that whenever Euro pallets are pushed into the storage tag, they are only going into bins of section 1. When, let's say there are total 500 bins, right? So out of this 500 bins, the number of bins will be cut short to 200, because we know that Euro pallet cannot be placed into section 2, or Okay, or carton will place it into large cartons will place it into section 1, but medium cartons will place it into only section 2. So what we are going to do is make sure that appropriate uh, bins we create. Okay. So first I'll just show you where we can create this Euro palette cartons and materials. Yeah. So cross process. We will see process strategies, storage with determination. Okay. Now, first what we'll do is, first we'll define HU types. Okay. So we have large and medium carton. We have C1. Okay. For large and medium, we have C1, C1, C1. Okay. For Euro pallet, we have, let's say, E1. Okay. This is the HU type. So this HU type, we will see it in the packaging material. So let's say if we see Euro pallet, so Euro pallet has E1. Okay. Then if we see cartons which are large, they have C1. So this controls, how this particular packaging material. So this is coming in carton. So C1 and CM both have the same HU type. So both of them will be, stored in the same manner. Okay, so HU type governs, which bin type it will be stored into. So let's say, for example, in our storage type, we also have bin types. Okay. So what we will do is WH80. Okay, we have storage type A. Okay, I'll just remove the unwanted entries first from here. So this entry. Okay, so what kind of bins we have here in the storage type? So what we have done here is, just while we were creating a very simplistic master data bins, what we did is for all the bins in storage type 8003, we have assigned bin type as P002. Okay. Now what we'll do is in 8003, we'll say that we have, let's say these are the aisles. Okay. So uh, they, so this you can see from the side view. Let's say this is one aisle. Okay. So what we'll say here is bins which are at ground levels. Okay. I can only store Euro pallets because they are bigger in size. Okay, they are slightly bigger ground level bins. That is A. Okay, B, C, B, and E. So all bins which are in the A level, below level, are we can store Euro pallets there. So what we are going to do, because the bins which are in ground level are bigger in size, we will create P001 bin. Okay, and say ground level bins. So I'm just giving you an example, that sometimes, your top level bins are bigger in size. Sometimes, in the same aisle, all bins are same in size. So I'm just trying to, give you an example where we have different bin sizes. Okay. So we are going to do is we have P001 here as a bin type. Let me copy. Yeah. Okay, so let us use this P001 and P002. So ground level bins, sorry, ground level bins are P00 because they are more height. So we'll say ground level bins are P002, sorry, okay, and the other level bins are, all other bins are, okay, they are like of different size. We have of height, let's say 1 meter. These are P001 bins. Let's say height 1 meter. They have height 1 meter. We can take any dimension. So just using the same dimension that we have here. So I'll just change your name here and say that this is for ground level, yeah. Just for us to recollect. So what we are saying in our storage study, this kind of arrangement we have, we have bins which are at ground level and which are high level. Ground levels are slightly more in height than the bins on the other levels. So let's go and change that in here as well, yeah. So what we'll do is 8003, let it be any aisle, okay, let it be, sorry, any stack, and if they belong to ground level, that is A, okay, we are going to change the bin type. We are going to keep the bin type to P002 because the height is more. So this is correct. We are going to change here. But any bin, let's say, other than this, okay, so we are going to exclude the ground level bins. So all other bins except ground levels, we are going to change the bin type to, sorry, I just put the wrong storage type. Okay, and here I will give the storage type. Okay, only in this storage type. So we get so many bins. We're just going to change these bins and change the section from, sorry, bin type from P002 to P001 because they have less height. Okay. So this is how we have now structured our storage type 8003. Then we want, okay, now we have P001, P0 2 as our you know section, sorry, bin types. Okay, now let's say when the product is coming in Euro pallet, okay, just understand what I'm trying to make here is when the product comes in Euro pallet, okay, what is the strategy we want to set up, and when the product comes in carton, what is the strategy we need to set up. Okay, so when the product comes in Euro pallet, what we are going to do is it is always going to be stored into, product comes in Euro pallet, it is always going to be stored into bin type P001 because the height is big. Yeah. Okay. When the product comes in carton, it's always going to be stored into P002. Okay. Sorry, I'm just saying the other way. Euro pallet height is more, so P002 here. Okay. And if the product is coming in carton, it should be stored in P001 first. Okay, now what I'm saying is, the height is more in P002, it's 2 meters. See, cartons are smaller in sizes. So if the, you can imagine if all the cartons, all the storage tanks are full, okay, and there is space available here, I want the cartons to be stored here in case all this gets full and there is a space on the ground floor. So carton can be stored here, but Euro pallet cannot be stored here, right? So I'll say first try to put it in P001. If P001 bins are not empty or not available, then put it into P002 bins. Okay? So this is the kind of strategy we are going to set here now. So we created HU type, we created bin type, and HU type is here. HU type to assignment to warehouse. When we create an HU type, we will assign it to warehouse. I hope that will already be done. So our HU types are C1 and E1. Yeah. I think we should take E2 as well. So both of them are assigned to warehouse. I think we should take E2 because we are saying a height is of 2 meters. Yeah. So I'll just change the packaging material and make it as E2. Make it as E2. Okay. So then what we are going to do is click it in the warehouse. Okay. Then the next config is depending on your storage type config. Yeah. So in not so see this kind of strategy, like that such kind of pallets can be allowed in such kind of bins. It is optional. You if you want, you can put any kind of pallet in any kind of bin. If these are additional checks, right? It increases your processing time, and it kind of it might sometimes delay if there are too many checks going on, and sometimes put there is for your kind of product there is no such restriction required at all. you know so what you will do in that case, basically if such a check is required, we'll come here and say HU type check allowed. But if that is not required, we'll remove this HU type check allowed. Okay. So now for us to check, I'm going to maintain this HU type check allowed, so that I want to check, what kind of pallets are going in what kind of bin. But if you don't want, you can remove it at any point of time. So any bin can be stored in any pallet can be stored in any kind of bin. Okay. But since we are trying to understand the strategy here, we want to set that check. Set that check as active. So HU type will be always checked against bin type. Okay. Then, okay, there is this config where we say in our storage type what kind of pallets are allowed. Okay. So in my storage type WH80, storage type is 8003. I will only allow E2 pallets and C1 pallets. That's it. I don't want any other kind of pallets to enter here. So this will control that your smaller cartoons, okay, smaller cartoons, wire baskets, okay, they are never ever allowed into this. So any product coming into carton this, system will give a message saying that you are not allowed to store such products in the storage tank. Okay, so this is again a control. Then comes our next control where we say, okay, let me remove some of the entries first. Okay, so now what we are going to say here is in our warehouse WH80 in storage type 8003. Okay, now I'll come to this strategy which we have set here. If the HU type is Euro pallet, that is E2, it will be stored into bin type P002. Okay, so just one sequence for E2. But when it comes into C1, first it will be placed into P001 first sequence, then I'm going to maintain second sequence also. Then P002. So you can see second sequence coming in. So this is how we control our strategies for movements. Okay. Then the product will also be considered. See, when casing is coming, it is only going to get stored into section 1. All Euro pallets into section 1. Okay. Um, when the raw casings, hollow shaft or other casings, sorry, raw casing is going to come, it is also going to get stored only in section 1, this section. When the turbo drive is coming, it is going to be stored here. But when the hollow shafts is coming, they are going to get stored here into P002 bins first, and when all the P001 bin first, and when all the P001s are full, then it will go into P002 bins. Okay. So section search will be based on product, but your HU type will then govern which, after we define a section. So let's say casing, it's going into section 1. In section 1, it's a Euro pallet, so it only go into P001 kind of bins. Okay. Raw casing, it's only going to go in section 1, and it is C1. It is only going to go first into P001 kind of bins. If the bins are not available, then it will go to P002 kind of bins. Okay. So I think we have done our config here, and I think we can quickly test it as well. So let me create a delivery here in ECC. So this is the product which we are using now for our test. Okay, so I'm just saying what are the pack size for this? Raw casing T-T600, the packing size is 8 per carton. So I'll say I want to have, let's say, 30 or 20. Stock placement, I'll say put it into 1000 stock location. I'll save it. So now this T-600, it's kind of, you will see it is going to place into carton L, large carton, and then we try to create a task. So it will go into P001 kind of bins only in section 1. Okay. Okay. So if we see the issues over here, you can see carton L, it is stored in carton L. This is coming from the pack specs. And let me do the good receipt now. So I hope the task will be created because we have automatic warehouse task set. So you can see the task is now created for it to move into 8003-001 section, but you can see it's going into the B number of B bin. Yeah, it's not going into A. Correct. So it's going into B because in A the section is, the bin type is P002. We are told that if it is coming in carton, it should be going into um, the storage bin type P001, which starts from level B. Okay. So what we can do is we can also try to see the log here, how the bin is searched. Let me see. So you remember I was creating a task and then having a look at the log. I think you should be able to see something over here. We can see it in SLG1. So by the time we see the log, let's try to create another delivery. First we need to create a PO for T-B100. T-B100 is not purchased from any vendor, it is produced in-house. So I'm not sure whether we can create a purchase order for that. What we'll do it, we'll try to test it through some other way. Yeah? Mm, I think it looks like the log is not activated. It is showing that it hits the PPF. One, 1, 3, 0, 5. Let me try another way. Just want to show you the log, how the bin is created over here. Long 1, 1, 3, 0, 5. Here are starts. Just want to cancel one task here. Let me try, Okay, I need to find some way to switch out that PPF. So when you create a task, you see the log over here, that will show you that. Let me see if I can see the log over here. No log file. Okay, so basically, when we create a task, we see a log over here, which will show you, how it has taken a bin type P002. Try to activate that log offline. So now, the same thing. What we'll do now is, okay. So since our product Euro palette is in-house produced, we cannot purchase this from another vendor. I'm going to test this in some other way. So what I'm going to do is, for the same delivery, okay, I'm just going to change the packing. Okay, let me create a delivery first here. And then what I'm going to do is, for that delivery, I'm just going to create a just give me a minute. So this is just a workaround, because that product is going to be produced in-house. So I cannot receive it against purchase order. So what I just imagine that this is that T-B100 product. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, that product is going to be received in 8 pieces per Euro pallet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to simulate that packing manually in EWM. So let's say this is the product here. Okay. So now it has come into this packing carton. I just want to change that. Okay. Now I would like to say like Euro palette execute, and then I'll move it to the Euro palette. Then again, I'll say Euro palette execute and move this into Euro palette. So just repacking them into Euro palettes manually, because we cannot get the other part created. So this kind of, so the packing size is 8. So let me cancel the task. Okay. Okay, this is again getting created, which is stopping us. Some other way to stop this. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, we need to somehow, see Euro palette, you know, going into P001, but this PPF, since it is, we need to check, how to stop that. Let me quickly see if we can. So, which other way we can check? Okay. What I'll do is I'll try to increase the quantity to 24 and save it. Then start. Then I do the packing. Just 24 enough. Sorry. Just put this new 4 pieces into Euro palette. Okay, looks like I'll have to get rid of this PPF, so until then we'll not be able to check for the other one, the Euro palette going only in P002. So I'll do that today offline, and probably tomorrow we'll check that part. Okay. So coming back to where we were, so We determine section. So today we check based on HU type. It checks the bin type. All the bins are determined. So we saw for a bin type P0 for HU type C1, it was going into bin type P001 only, and in that if there are some more restrictions which we can keep, let's say in the product master we can say maximum number of bins. So how many maximum bins we can store a particular HU, a particular product. So I'll say if the product is a T-K 600, so it can only be stored into maximum 10 bins, yeah, because we don't need much stock of that product in this bin. So in this storage type. Okay. So same way, we, at storage type level we can define how many maximum bins you know we can keep in a particular storage type, and what are the put away rules and capacity. So put away rules we had just started briefly yesterday. So put away rules will then further help us after we have determined the bin type, how to place the stock. Okay. Let's say for example we see a task here now. So next question which comes to our mind is, if the storage type is clear 8002, storage section is 8001, we know that it should go into you know, it should go into, okay, let me show you here. So for a carton product, you can imagine that there are many options for us. A carton product can be stored in any of this bin. Okay, let me exclude it. Except the ground level bins, a carton can be stored in any of these bins. Any of these bins. So now there are 400 bins where you can store your product into. So how would system determine where it has to go? Where if there is it has to go into 10 tile, it has to go into the first tile, it has to go into section. We are aware, right? Section is okay, but whether it has to go to let me put section also because section is clear for us. So this T-K 600 will go into section 1 only. Okay. Still there are these all bins, they satisfy the criteria. So how system is uniquely going to select a bin? So yesterday we saw that there are different strategies. Manually give it. You say empty storage bin. So in this case it goes as per the sequence, and whichever is empty it selects that bin first in the sequence. Okay. Now there are some more strategies. Okay. So for that we need to see some other storage types as well. Okay. So let's say for example I'll just go from easier to the complicated strategy. One such strategy which is easy, it's a general storage. Okay. So we configure these strategies for different kinds of warehouses, for different kinds of storage types based on how we want them to be stored. Okay. Let's say for example 8003. So in 8003 what we have set up, so for setting up the strategies, there is no fixed indicator over here saying that yes, this is the strategy, this is manual strategy, or this is fixed bin strategy, or this is general storage strategy. These strategies are activated based on your indicators that you set here. Okay. So manual, we don't need to maintain any indicator. If without making any config, it will work. Okay. Then the next one is um, color. Anyway, so this one we did not set anything. That's already done. So for the next one, the empty bin also we need not to set anything. If you don't make any specific config, by default it is going to take the bin as per your numbers. Okay. Then I just want to explain you general storage. Okay. So the decision you need to make here is when you are implementing in your warehouse, how the storage will be determined. Whether you want to set up um, a general storage for it or not. Okay. So basically, when you set up a general storage, why will you set up a general storage? What is the reason behind setting up a general storage? Okay. A general storage is typically required, when. Okay. So in our case, it's not a general storage. It is a kind of storage that we have, because once you change anything in standard, it's not as per the standard, right? So we have activated HU type check. So it is no more a general storage. The storage, we'll say a name of casings, casings and shafts, raw casing storage. Yeah. So it's no more a general storage. A typical general storage you will see here in the configuration that we find it in standard. So this is a typical general storage. So if you want to activate a general storage for your particular warehouse storage type, any storage type, two questions should be answered: why we need general storage, and how the storage will be carried out in general storage. Okay. So if we activate, if we want to, let's say we create a storage type where we want general storage. So when you are going to use it, see, general storage is generally used for your big bulky parts, okay, which you store in your premises. Preferably, you can imagine big fabricated parts which are stored outside your warehouse in open space. So it's a place where it requires a lot of place, generally, huge storage and less number of bins comparatively. Okay. So you can imagine, let me, this is pump has smaller parts, but there can be parts like, let's say, for example, if you're working in a vehicle, the body of the vehicle, it's really big. If you're working in a industry where you are into, let's say, fabrication, you make this big girders, and big fabricated angles, channels, they require a lot of space, right? So those space, will require few number of bins, and then be big in size. So in that case, generally we use a general storage. Okay. So in that case, what we do is we generally have um, one bin per section. Okay. So what we do is, it's a big storage and you can physically see your product. So what we do is, we say we create one section and one bin for the entire storage, and we dump whatever we want into that. There is no HU type check active, or there is no control on which, whether HUs are allowed or not. Nothing. It's just a simple storage, one bin, one section, dump everything there. At the most you'll have two section, two bins, or one section, more than one bin in few cases, but ideally it's not recommended. For a typical general storage, you will have just one bin per section, and you keep on dumping stock in the same section, same bin. Okay. So if you want to activate general storage, simply copy this and create one bin. It will work. Okay. Then the next storage type, next strategy which I want to explain you is, just I'm going in the order of uh, complexity. So next is addition to stock. Okay. So how addition to stock works? Again, the addition to stock. Again, I will say the idea here is, we have so many number of bins, right? So many 400 number of bins where we can store our stock. Okay. So let's say, for example, we want to store So there are so many numbers. So now, see, we are saying in empty bin, we are placing the stock in whichever the bin which is empty. Okay. So generally the rankings have, you know, the empty bin strategies. See here you can see empty bin, so it goes and searches the empty bin. So if you copy 0010, so you have this empty bin activated. Okay. Then if in case you want to have addition to stock, then you copy 0020. Sorry, 0020 near fixed bin. 0020 should be, yeah. So 0020 has addition to stock here strategy. So you know, if you want to activate addition to stock strategy for your storage style, okay. So then you copy. So let's say I want to have a storage type which has addition to stock. So I will copy 0020 and create a storage type. Okay. So we have already copied 0020 into 8002. Okay. So we might check that strategy when we are placing some stock into 8002. Okay. But just to make you understand, you know, so maybe, you know, at the end of a session we'll put, you know, we'll bring in all the products and put them in the relevant, you know, bins. So the 8002 is already having this strategy, and we'll test it when we are placing stock into 8002, like this one, like to double drive. So when it goes into 8002, it's going to see, it's going to put away based on addition to stock. Now how addition to stock works? So addition to stock works, basically what happens is, you know, when the system is trying to look into the bins which it can store. So the storage type which we are looking at before this, uh, 0020, which had empty bin. So 0010, sorry, 0010 storage type, the standard one, it goes as per empty bin. So it looks which bins are empty, okay, and it places them as per the order, right? But let's say, for example, you have some bins which are empty, some which are not empty. So in a business sense, in a regular business sense, when the products are moving, there can be bins which are empty, some bins which are having stock. So 0010, if you're working with the empty bin strategy, it is going to ignore the bins which has stock, right? So a bin which is using empty bin storage type, which is using empty bin strategy, is simply going to ignore the bins which are already having stock. As the name suggests, it looks only for empty bins. But if you go with addition to stock, okay, and then, and if you have made a config here too, that you're going to work with addition to stock, not with file. So how system behaves in that? So in a general, I mean, just before we go there, in general, that is 0030 general storage, you will see a putaway rule of 4. That is general storage. Okay. So in the putaway rule of um, coming back to a putaway rule of addition to stock, that is 2. So here in this case, what system does, it looks for bins which already contain stocks. So you have bins which are empty, bins which are having stock. So addition to stock, as the name suggests, you know, it will try to add the stock to the bins which are already having the same material in them. So let's say if I had a bin which had T-600 part in it and some bins which are empty, the system will try to first add my new HU of T-600 into a bin which already has T-600 part in it. Okay. So if there is no sufficient capacity for me to put more T-600 in the bins which are already holding T-600, then I'll go to the next bin. Okay, that is why you see in the config a slash empty bin, because yeah, it's going to go for empty bin, but first it will try to add stock in the bins which are already having the stock of the same product. Okay, so addition to stock, as the name suggests, bins will have the same parts. You know, some of the bins will do have the same parts there in their storage type, if the bins which are having the same parts can accommodate some more stock, then they will take it. If not, then it will go to the next empty bin. So this kind of strategy is important for parts where, for example, for some parts, let's say, you added some stock, but the capacity is still there. Let's say I can store 10 electronic drive here. We are storing electronic drives there. It's a kind of a electronic part of a pump. So we are storing electronic turbo drive, in a particular, in 8002, let's say, for example. And for example, if in case we put stock into 8002, let's say 10 turbo drives, or with, let's say 10 turbo drives, they weigh 1000 kgs. Okay, but my bin can store up to 5000 kgs. I can put, more 40 turbo drives, which will weigh 4000. Yeah, so I can store 50 in that particular, you know bins. It's the capacity or its weight. There can be capacity of volume. There can be capacity of number of HUs. Okay, so that also we'll visit later how the capacity is set. So this is how, then you have mixed storage, whether you allow more than one part to be stored in a bin or you don't allow. Okay, so that again, works here. You can set up capacity based on product, based on weight, volume, based on packaging material, based on product and packaging material. Okay. So this is how, you work with addition to stock. So all this sorry, so all the storage types which we just, all the strategies that we saw, you don't need to do any other config. Okay, the configuration is not required, or any configuration is required. It is done at a it's done at storage type level. No additional configuration is required. So tomorrow we will see some more storage type like fixed bin, bulk, pallet. For them, we need to do some additional config on master data. So tomorrow we'll see those strategies. We'll do that master data, we'll do that config and see how we can, place the stock into the bins. Okay. So we'll stop here today. Tomorrow we'll continue from, and understand few more strategies and test them, and probably we'll complete it tomorrow, the strategies, and Monday we'll take slotting and quality inspection. So Monday almost roughly we'll be completing 50% of our course. With week 3, then we'll start with week 4, where we start with outbound. Okay, so we'll stop here today. Tomorrow we'll catch up with the next few strategies that we have, and we'll test this strategy. So we can see these products which we have designed. We'll try to place them into different storage. Okay. So any questions before we end for today? Okay, if no questions, we'll end the session and we'll meet again tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.